you can put sober curious. I love that people are sober curious. When you say sober, I think it comes with a connotation that like there was a problem or like you had to do it. And it's like, no, not always. I mean, sometimes, yeah, for sure.
Sure, yeah.
And sometimes like I just live a sober life because of whatever.
I know. I always feel interesting like saying that word. I'm like, no, I choose to be sober. Like, but I'm not in recovery. It's not like I had a problem necessarily, although I could recognize like this train wasn't going in the best direction. And so like, but I, you know what I mean? So it's kind of an interesting word to be like, oh, I'm sober. Welcome back to another episode of Sessions for the Soul.
Yes, welcome back. Here we are.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of the year and the first season.
So, season 1.
Yeah, super excited about that. We're going to start with another little I said what I said moment.
And we love an I said what I said.
We do. So I feel like they've all kind of been a little controversial so far, maybe. I don't know.
I can't remember all of them.
I don't remember the last few.
Me either. And sometimes when I do that, I think like, I don't remember a lot of what we talk about on here. I'm going to be honest.
We just black out this this whole experience.
No, well, it's not. It just flows. No, it's like I'm a channel for information.
Yes. And then when we rewatch it, we're like, wait, we said that?
Oh, there have been times in editing where I'm like, nah, I'm removing that. What? I no longer identify with that version of me.
That's right.
And that's growth.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's hilarious.
I love it.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, take it away.
I guess this one, it's a little serious this time. But the supplement industry is no different than big pharma, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's so interesting how like you have the like Western medical system and then you have kind of like the naturopathic, homeopathic, alternative and complementary health approach system that is also pushing tons of like meds and supplements and all the things on you. And it's no different. And it's like keeping you stuck in the cycle and like reliant on another substance outside of like an actual like holistic, sustainable approach, which I think is so interesting. And I'm not saying that like all supplements are bad or all medications are bad or anything like that, but it's really like they're not really that much different from each other.
I totally agree. Just totally. Like one of the things that's really hard about supplements too is like qualifying.
Oh yeah.
Because so many supplements are actually full of garbage and like,
like actual
toxins like synthetic, like not actually like you have to like really like qualify like where you're sourcing from. And so I think that that's like a big problem too, because like you could walk into anywhere and, you know, buy vitamins, but like let's just, I hate to like blow up their spot, but like the Flintstone vitamin, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
Like, please be so for real for a second. Like, what was the nutritional value in that for children? And like, I can acknowledge maybe like a little bit, maybe. I don't even know because like we weren't really qualifying vitamins back then.
Right.
And so like, and also love this because if you have certain genetic predispositioning or mutations, like I do, so most of like regular vitamins are actually acting as like a toxin or a poison in my body rather than doing any benefit. And so like if I was taking folic acid, for example, that's literally making me so sick, damaging my cells, the whole nine.
Yeah.
But like nobody knew that in the 90s. They were just like,
and that's the thing too, is like, I think so many people take supplements blindly.
Totally.
And because like a certain influencer told you to, or you have someone you know who's taking it and you're like, oh, I got to do that. Or because like you heard it on a podcast. And so it's instead of like actually taking an approach of like, what do I actually need? Do I actually need vitamin D? Do I?
Right. Like go get your levels done.
Yeah. Like actually be strategic about it. Otherwise, like, first of all, you can do harm, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And also like, it just gets so like you're throwing your money away just in the same way of like giving all your money to big pharma and then you have all the side effects and then you need another medication to fix the side effects. And like, it's a whole system that you can get trapped in. And so, yeah, I've never been a big supplement person in general. And it just like is so annoying to me sometimes to just like see all the supplements being pushed where it's like, what? Why? Like, you don't need this thing to heal your nervous system or to fix XYZ thing that you're experiencing. Like, and maybe you do sometimes, but just in general, like it's being pushed so hard,
Right.
and it's a really huge industry.
Oh, and it's really
Huge.
expensive. Like if I had a
Yeah.
dollar for every, I'm not kidding, like full bottle of supplements I've thrown away because it's like, well, it's set here for 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
Because I like also have fatigue, supplement fatigue, because I am supposed to take a handful of them for my genetic mutation. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, I don't very often.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I've been on a high lately. I've taken
Yeah.
like, I've been taking them like 3 times a week,
Yeah.
which is improvement.
Yes.
Because sometimes I do think to myself, like, well, cognitively things could be better. Like, like literally on a
Yeah.
cellular level, they could be functioning
Sure. Yeah.
higher. But um I get like you could not pay me to take. Yeah, you can't. No, I wish. I really wish I
Yeah.
was motivated in that way. I just like hate doing it.
Yeah.
Took me like 15 minutes this morning to hype myself up to take the medication that will shorten the life of this cold sore on my face. And I just sat
Mm-hmm.
there and I was like, I don't want to do this. And then
Yeah.
finally I psyched myself into it. But
Yeah. That's
um,
rough.
I think it's like so different if a doctor is like, hey, we just did your blood work and you are like super deficient in whatever, right? Or like,
Mm-hmm.
we need to support this thing.
Right. Like
As
being strategic about it, I guess, is like a good way to put it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're just like reading a bottle and you're like, oh, I need this with no like base level of like actually what's going on in your body, your
Yeah.
hormone levels, your vitamin levels, your what's going on,
Yeah.
with your system, then honestly, sometimes we can be doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a whole industry. So that's my I said what I
I
said.
like that. And hey, I like it. Mine, I don't think I've done this. I'm questioning if I have. I don't know, you guys. But wearing socks without shoes is insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's and I said what I said. If
Yeah.
you're going to wear a tennis shoe
Oh my gosh.
without a sock,
No.
a Birkenstock, a sandal, you don't need
Fine.
socks, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a tennis shoe, a Converse,
Yeah.
I call them individually, it's a Converse. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. I think. I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know.
Converse shoes.
But
A
like,
pair.
oh yeah, like if you're wearing boots
Oh my gosh.
without socks, that's crazy. And also, like how it feels on your foot, the smell. Um, like long term, imagine you have like an old pair of shoes and you slip your foot into them with no sock on. That's crazy. And so yeah, I mean, I don't really think I need to give much to that. I think that that's like
I feel like that's just like
that's it.
very simple, straightforward. I stand by you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And more people should, because
It's not a good feeling
well, and I
either.
think when you're a kid, maybe it's like the time that, because I've got a lot of little kids in my life.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, did you just put that shoe on without a sock?
Yeah, kids don't really care.
They don't
But
care.
like as an adult, we should not be doing that.
No, and maybe they should care. Maybe the kids should care because
Yeah.
like also that's how you get blisters, I'm pretty sure. Nobody likes a blister.
Oh yeah.
You know?
It's painful.
It's just the whole thing. Yeah. And so everyone should wear socks with their shoes, and that's all I'm going to say. Ballet flats are an interesting one because you're not really supposed to wear socks with them. And I've had
that is like that might be like a caveat or
it's the caveat,
yeah.
but I will say I've had some ballet flats that smelled terrible.
Oh, yeah.
After a short amount of time.
Yes.
And then I'm like, well, I can't wear those ever again.
Yeah, that is like an interest. Yeah, I haven't had like ballet flats in a long time, but the shoes that I wear actually pretty much like every single day are leather shoes, and they're like slip-on, kind of like a slip-on Birkenstock, but like closed-toed. And I don't wear socks. Well, I do wear socks with them in the winter.
Seasonally, I'm wearing socks with Birks right now.
Yeah, but otherwise I don't, and they don't like feel yucky.
Yeah.
But there is a difference between like that material, like having your foot on a leather, which is interesting too, though, because it gets like hot, you know.
But it's different. I know exactly what you mean. Because
I definitely stand by what you're saying of like, it's so gross to not wear socks. And then I'm like, wait. Wait.
Well, see, in certain shoes, I think it's okay, but like
Tennis shoes.
there's
for
a
sure,
difference
yeah.
between like also a leather ballet flat and a plastic ballet flat because I have like a plastic pair. They're like, it's vegan leather. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
It's plastic.
Yeah.
And they smelled so bad after having them for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I said I'm going to buy an investment pair of flats.
Yeah.
Spent a little extra money, got real leather flats. I've had them for a while now and they don't smell bad at all. Like, and I've worn them through rain, sleet, mud,
Yeah.
snow. Like I've worn them.
Yeah, leather must be
It's just
different in some
different.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, because like my Birks, well, I did have a pair of Birks that got pretty crazy, but I had them for like 3 years.
Pretty crazy.
They got pretty
Yeah.
crazy, and now I only use them. They're my outdoor Birks. They're like the other day I wore them in the ocean
Yeah.
because that's what they're for now.
They're my water Birks.
And by the way, they're like Boston clogs. They're like not to be, but I wore them in the ocean.
That's so funny.
And I will tell you, they were really hard to like. I was like hiking, like climbing a mountain in them, and
Oh my gosh,
I
yeah.
slipped and I did fall.
Oh, for sure. It's not quite the appropriate shoe, but you know what?
It was fine. It was only on the way down that things got sketchy, and that's where I fell. And I was really sore the next day.
Yeah.
But the shoe survived because I think like quality is like really what makes it different.
It does.
So,
It really does.
yeah, just wear socks with shoes, please.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, today's episode, we're going to be talking about opting out of drinking, which I'm really excited about. We're going to talk just like brief overview, just sharing a little bit about like our personal choices around not drinking and what that's kind of looked like for us, and then just how to like navigate the whole process of like questions that you might get, how to navigate the social interactions that you have that are like kind of centered around drinking, how to kind of shift your identity. So just the overview of what it's like to choose to not drink and how that kind of impacts some things in your life and how it also doesn't impact certain things. So
absolutely. I am excited for this episode because we've kind of had it on our mind for a little bit now. And it's been on my mind recently, just like approaching like a milestone celebration and kind of contemplating how does one like it's so weird to think about how our culture doesn't really necessarily like show people or tell people how to celebrate things without like centering it around some of these activities. And so I'm excited to dive into this, and also potentially like this episode could bring out an edge in some people listening. This could be uncomfortable to hear, just our perspectives. And hey, like we just want to invite, like this is just a conversation.
Yeah.
And
this also isn't like a judgment on drinking. It's just we haven't drank in
a long time.
Probably. Yeah. And it's always interesting to like engage with someone who is also considering that or also has chosen to not drink or is just curious about it and asks like, oh, why don't you drink? So it's like, it's definitely something that's like out there that isn't really talked about a lot. And I think that just might be a good thing to point out is like, we haven't made this decision from like a place of like judgment or like it's the morally better decision or anything like that. But like, it's okay to make the choice to like not engage in drinking or substance use or like whatever behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just wanted to lead with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just laying the groundwork for this exploration. There's like a term, and this is funny. People put it, like on their profiles or like in dating apps a lot. You can put sober curious. And it's just like, I love that people are sober curious because it's like, when you say sober, I think it comes with a connotation that like there was a problem or like you had to do it. It was like, like you had to get sober. And it's like, no, not always. I mean, sometimes, yeah, for sure.
Sure, yeah.
And sometimes like I just live a sober life because of whatever.
I know. I always feel interesting like saying that word. I'm like, no, I choose to be sober. Like, but I'm not in recovery. Like I'm not, it's not like I had a problem necessarily, although I could recognize like this train wasn't going in the best direction. And so like but I, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's kind of an interesting word to be like, oh, I'm sober, but but not because it was like an addiction, you know what I mean?
No, totally.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
it's very
interesting.
interesting. So yeah, should we
Yeah.
dive into just
Let's.
like some, just I guess briefly some personal stuff? Like it's probably been 10 years since I've had a drink.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So like, what is that? 20, wait, no, like 8 years since I've had a drink probably would be realistic. And uh yeah, it is interesting to think too. And I think we've both had this experience of like most drinking happened like before 21, the
Yes.
high school, gosh, even middle school, which is crazy to think about. And just like the drinking experiences that I had more so, well, most of them, but especially recognizing it in adulthood of like, I don't really like drinking till I black out. Like that was like the point every time. And then I was like,
Mm.
wait, this actually is like not good. And I actually don't want to do this. And like wanting to actually like be connected, be present, remember what's happening, like
Yeah.
I'll maintain control over like what's happening in my environment or my body or whatever. And so that was like a big point for me. Actually, shortly after Adam and I got into a relationship, I was like, I just, like, I don't really see the point of drinking. Like, for me, it doesn't feel like relaxing. It feels like I'm either going to get fucked up and blackout drunk or I'm not going to drink at all. And so,
Yeah.
like, the choice for me was like, I'm just not going to drink. Like, it doesn't feel worth it for me. Um, and so, yeah, I just like, and I guess at this point, like I have a pretty strong conviction in that too. And also like just the health benefits of
Oh,
like,
totally. Yeah.
don't drink. Like I don't really want to like intentionally poison my body. Like it just doesn't really seem aligned with like my values and like how I treat my body in general. So like it's all of those things for me that have just made it super easy to be like, yeah, I don't drink. And it's really easy for me to just, say no to any offers,
Yeah.
and like being so solid in that and also being in a place of like I don't want to have to rely on that socially
Oh,
to
yeah.
enjoy myself, especially knowing that for me it is sometimes hard to be in social environments and how easy it would be to just like rely on alcohol to be like that social lubricant, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So,
sure. Did
yeah.
you really? I don't think you drank in high school. I mean, there was that one time that we remember we were like going to try to get drunk, and I the first two times I ever tried to drink in my life, which was senior skip day.
Really?
Yeah, that
Did
was
we
the
drink
first.
on that day?
Yeah, and I didn't get drunk at all. Like I literally did not feel a thing.
Did I drink?
Yeah.
Where?
Remember we stayed at the Akari bungalows.
Oh, that was on senior skip. Okay, I remember staying there. Oh, I was so drunk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like spent the night on the toilet. I had like a bruise on my chest afterwards.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yes.
fucking cute.
No, so that was the first time I ever tried drinking, and
Really?
yeah, I never drank in middle school literally at all because I had such bad anxiety about alcohol growing up in an
Yeah.
alcoholic environment.
Uh-huh.
Like I just was so afraid of alcohol. And the entire first year of college I did not drink. So I would
Okay. Yeah.
you guys I did other things.
Gosh.
But but yeah, so because I don't remember you drinking in high school.
um, yeah, I think most of it was middle school and then a few, which is insane.
And see, I think that was part of not to drudge up the past,
No,
but
but why we weren't really friends
no, I
in
think
middle
it was
school.
because
Yeah.
I didn't want to, because I like had such bad anxiety about alcohol.
Yeah, and
And I think that like, oh, we'll bleep that out. I think that there were people in our lives who played roles and kind of that division there because maybe knowing how I felt about it
yeah.
or just like the anxiety I had around it because like growing up in such an unpredictable environment and like honestly like oh my god if my dad grabbed a beer like my stomach was in
Yeah.
knots and I was like ready to throw up
Yeah.
and I was just like and hey he's been sober for a long time but
Yeah.
so I think that was kind of part of like that like wedge there of like well
Mhm.
she's not going to be down with this.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was. Yeah. And yeah, that was just an interesting time because it was like in my house, it was, of course, not acceptable to be
Right.
13 or 14 and drinking. That's crazy. But I became friends with people who, and there were a few people who was like okay in their house to do that.
Which
And
is so
so
crazy.
insane. And so, yeah, it was, I would say probably like like maybe a little bit in freshman year. I honestly don't know. And then yeah, I guess senior skipped it.
One time when we were 18.
Yeah, and then a few times after that. Yeah, it just no, yeah, it's never been like a big thing for me, but every time it was like a huge ordeal, and then it's like, oh, what happened?
Yeah.
And then just feeling like sick the next, just the whole
Yeah.
experience was like, why would I do this? Like, I don't want to keep doing this.
No,
So,
totally. I totally feel that. Yeah. I didn't start drinking actually until my second year of college. First year, didn't drink at all. Um I tried I there was like one party at the very end of the year and I was like, okay, I'll have one drink. And again, did not get drunk at all.
mhm,
I was like one of those people who like I one thing I do have like a pretty my body like won't let me lose control. I've only been drunk one time in my life where I like did not have control.
mm,
Maybe twice, but like honestly, I think it was really one time. And I remember the night well. And like what's crazy is like I wasn't really coherent, but I was. And I remember everything about it. And it was just like, ew, the worst. I never wanted to feel that way again. It
mhm,
was so sloppy and disgusting.
yeah,
Um, and I was 20 at that point. But yeah, the first time I like really got drunk was with a friend of ours in the summer in between my first year and second year of college at my
mhm,
house.
mhm.
And we just, hey, guess what? I sang Hannah Montana songs all fucking night. And I would. I
So cute.
did a concert
Yes.
for everyone. I did a concert for her and she would like literally we would just do that sometimes. She'd be like, we would, be silly and I just liked it was my moment to really like be the main character,
Yeah.
which I loved.
Yeah.
But so I didn't really like as a teenager, I wasn't really doing that. And I also was like really afraid of my parents like disapproving of stuff that I did. And that was like a huge point of like, that was like a huge thing to overcome in my life. It still is. Like I mean, I still sometimes have to be like, hey, like I need you to approve of this choice I'm making at 29 years old,
Mhm.
at 30 years old. And like at this point, I think that they're like, yeah, we approve. It doesn't matter. We don't care.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. But I, my second year, things kind of like went off the rails though of college. It started with just like, yeah, going to parties on weekends. And it's kind of funny. Like that year, two of our really good friends from high school
Mhm.
said to me before I went to school, they were like, we just want you to like like say yes to things this year. Like this should be your yes year. Like go have fun. And I was like, oh, okay. Cause I like literally the year before, no social life, like didn't go out to parties, didn't like my
Mhm.
first year of college. I was like a homebody, didn't
Mhm.
really do anything like too crazy. I like
Yeah.
I really didn't even have that many friends.
Yeah.
Um And so then the second year, it was like, go like fucking make memories. You're in Los Angeles, like go live your life.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay. And I started smoking weed when I was 18.
Mhm.
And that has always been more of like that I've had to get sober from because of addiction.
Mhm.
And that's, a whole other thing. But truly like it just became so volatile and like every weekend getting drunk, like we had fucking wine Wednesday, turned up
Mhm.
Tuesday, thirsty. Like, I'm not kidding. We were
Yeah.
drinking so much. And whoever's
Yeah.
idea acting school is like, let's bring the most dramatic, like egocentric, like
Mm.
kids who think they're so special and put them
Mhm.
in a fishbowl together.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And it just breeds chaos.
Yeah.
And it did. And it does. And so it was like really not a great situation. And then after that year, when some really unfortunate things happened and like some of my friendships were getting really tumultuous,
Mhm.
I came home for a month in the summer before I went back after graduation. And I just like had this, like, I felt sick like all the time. I just was like, this is not like good. This is not feeling good.
Mhm.
And there were like some situations going on around me with one of my roommates who I think was really struggling with addiction and wasn't aware of it and
Yeah.
also was struggling with some other stuff. and it was becoming actually like a big issue, like a safety hazard.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like a moment where I kind of had stated like, hey, I think I'm going to drink less. And this will bring us into like some of our other stuff, but that became a huge issue in our friendship. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a threat that I didn't want to drink as much.
Yeah.
And that like started to lead to like a huge conflict and disconnect.
Yeah.
And then I would say like by the time I moved home, I would drink like very occasionally. And even like in that last like year or two, I was drinking so occasionally. And then, I mean, yeah, like I can't even think, like I got maybe like one or two times. I stopped drinking a lot, like moving home. I think I drank around my family like one or two times. I don't even know. Like I can think of a few times I've been drunk with like the whole lot. And like my grandma's 70th birthday, we all got drunk, and honestly it was hilarious, but not a good situation. And that was when I started to notice actually that I started to notice I have a problem, because really the catalyst in me never drinking again was an allergic reaction. And so after my grandma's birthday party, the next day, because we were like up doing family festivity things, it was around Thanksgiving and all of that, because her birthday is the same day as yours.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like Thanksgiving weekend. And the next day, like everyone's like a little hungover, but they're fine. I am literally still drunk for like well into the next day, like the next night. I'm like not doing well, like something is wrong. And my mom and dad are like, this happens every time you drink. Have you noticed that? Like you literally stay drunk for like 3 days. And I'm like, yeah. And it's like feeling increasingly worse. Like, and my sister had pointed it out that night. My brother-in-law was like, oh, your sister's so like rosy cheeked and cute when she drinks. And she was like, she's having an allergic reaction. and he was like, wait, really? And it was like, honestly, a funny moment. She's like, yeah, it's because she's allergic. And, so then, I didn't drink for a really long time. I maybe had a glass of wine in Europe once or twice, but not really at all. And then I went to a friend's bachelorette party, and I was like, yeah, I'll drink, I'll keep up, whatever. Everything was fine. Next day, hives head to toe, and still pretty drunk, not doing well, like not metabolizing. So I went to a doctor because I was like, I've never had an allergic reaction this bad. And
yeah, your body was like, let's stop.
No, literally, like the doctor was like, you should not drink alcohol. Like, this is crazy. And I was like, yeah, this is crazy. So that was like a really big push, but there were threads of like, I don't like this. I don't like the like confusion about like, even on a night that like went perfect and I knew I was like fine and everything was fine, there was still that like little shadow of like, but was it? Like a little bit of self-doubt and a little bit of like, and so I just really was like, you know what, like this is fine. And that was probably 5 or more years ago, like 5, I mean, at least 5, maybe 4 years ago that happened. But in between like that time and previously to that, like I maybe drank a handful of times.
Right.
And so like by the time I was 21, like I think for sure by 22, I was like pretty much done drinking.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like you mentioned, how sometimes relationships can shift. And so, like, if you're listening and maybe you've been through this process of being like sober curious, or just choosing to not drink, or like going on some pauses, or you're considering that, relationships sometimes do change. And that's always interesting because, like, was that really a friendship?
Right.
Or was that just someone who wanted a drinking partner to be on the same level as them? And when you make a choice to do something different, it's a threat, like you said, or seen as like a judgment, or like you're morally better. And like, it's not coming from that place, but it's perceived that way a lot of times, I think, because people are like that battle, that like internal battle that you were talking about, of like, there's like the shadow of like, I don't know if I really should like keep doing this or if I really want to. And so a lot of people, I think, do have that like in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
And then when someone makes a choice to do something different, it can feel very threatening to their own choices. And again, not that it's bad to drink, it's like inherently bad, right? But I think it can make waves, and sometimes in relationships when you choose to do something different.
Totally. I think like two things are coming to mind right now. The first one is like the thought of like misery loves company. And I don't mean like
Yeah.
misery, but it's like, it's this thing that like can come up around food even. Like
Yeah.
this is a thing that, um, when someone's making a choice to like do something else, sometimes we perceive that as like a threat to, or like an insult of like, well, you should, because I'm choosing not to eat X, Y, and Z, or I'm choosing not to drink or whatever,
Yeah.
then like I'm saying everyone should. And one of my favorite phrases about that and how to like approach that is like, nobody cares what's in your cup. If
Right.
I'm choosing not to drink, like I don't care what's in your cup, and you should certainly not care what's in mine.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like,
Hmm.
and then also like, I think sometimes there's the element uh of like the misery loves company thing of like, and obviously like that's dramatic. That's a very dramatic phrase.
Although sometimes that I do think that would be applicable in
Oh,
this
for
case. Not all the
sure.
times, but like in the extreme cases of like, let's say someone is truly struggling with
And
alcoholism.
trying to,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like was my experience like with this friendship I
Yeah.
had.
Mhm.
Um, because I remember the first year we lived together, actually, when I still didn't drink, I had said like, because there were some moments where it's like, oh, let's go out, let's drink, like, let's do this. And I was like, oh, I'm really not comfortable drinking.
Yeah.
And when the conversation came up, why?
Hmm.
I said, because my dad's an alcoholic
Yeah.
and like alcoholism like runs in my family. It's just not something I feel comfortable exploring right now. Like
Hmm.
low key at the time, I was like, I am trying to recover from the last, however many years.
Hmm.
And this person said to me, like, oh, I don't think alcoholism is real.
Hmm.
And I just remember being like, what the fuck?
Hmm.
Like, come take I was like, no, that like it was really crazy. And it also was like, just it was really hard for me to comprehend at that age. I like didn't even know how to handle a comment like that. And then
Sure.
also like when I take a step back and look at it, I was like, oh, that's like someone who probably generationally is like used to this
Yes.
behavior
Yeah.
and like isn't questioning it, or
Yeah.
it's normalized to a degree. And like maybe it's not like volatile and toxic, but like from what I know, it was.
Probably
And
is. Yeah.
so, yeah, it is that thing of like sometimes people are threatened by our choices
Yeah.
because like the world is a mirror,
It is. Yeah.
and there's that element of like what's it reflecting back,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a good point to bring up, just like in terms of navigating handling questions, like how to handle questions from people, because I have found that a lot of times people do ask like, oh, do you want to drink, can I get you something to drink? And I'm like, oh no, I'm okay, or oh, I'll have water, or
Water.
whatever it is, whatever else that's being offered. And every once in a while there will be the question of like, oh, why don't you drink? And it depends on the person who's asking. Like sometimes I'm okay with like, sharing some more information, kind of like how we started this podcast, of
Right.
sharing like a little bit more detail around my choice. And other times it's just as simple as like, oh, I don't enjoy drinking, or
I don't like how it feels.
yeah,
Yeah,
I prefer to be fully present. And that's it. Like you don't have to give all the details. You don't have to
totally.
say like, oh, I'm just, trying out sobriety for 30 days, or, oh,
Right.
had a really shitty experience and so I choose to not drink anymore. Like
Right.
you
Right.
don't have to give all those details. So, um yeah, I think like when you do get those questions, just reminding yourself like you get to choose how much you share or how little you share. And then also remembering, like you just mentioned, of like the world is a mirror, like those questions aren't about you. Those are about them,
Absolutely.
especially if it's a question that's coming from like a place of judgment or like pressure, because
Yeah.
there's definitely a different tone when it's coming from that place.
Oh, absolutely. And it's really interesting how sometimes people are really uncomfortable, like socially with that. And
Mhm.
I think that that's one of the things that can be like hard for people. If you're like sober curious, right? And you're going out with friends who drink a lot and they're not like willing to respect, like, I just don't drink.
Mhm.
And they're like pressuring you. And so it feels like you can't like, it's kind of like the like, okay, well, I'll have one. Like that situation is unfortunately like I think way more common.
Yeah.
Even I mean, I've even experienced that in the last few years when I'm like, oh, I'm like literally allergic to alcohol. It's like, are you sure you just want sparkling water? I'm like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's just it's such a strange thing, but it is like a reality. And I think also like one of the points we have on here is like not knowing how to engage socially or like how to celebrate like when that's the case, or if you have social situations, like you've been invited to a birthday party or whatever, right? Like insert social obligation situation here, um, and is like drinking based, knowing how to like show up in that, or like how to feel comfortable and not like, one, not feel like weird in yourself, like it's weird that I'm not drinking and I'm here, and two, like those people just, like I said, no one cares what's in your cup,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's like, but I think that that happens, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
It does. Yeah. And I think sometimes it has to do like learning how to like engage in social interactions or like social events or gatherings, celebrating without alcohol. Like those things over time, I think just get easier and easier.
Totally.
But the first time that you're like trying to navigate it, it can feel really weird. But yeah, just reminding yourself like a lot of that is just your own feeling of like, ooh, this is weird. Most people don't care if you're
Right.
drinking or not, or what you're drinking, or like,
And if they do, like, I mean, let me be nice. If they do care, that, like, again, like we've said, that says so much more about
it
them.
does.
And
Yeah.
also, like, you don't have to engage, deeply with that individual because,
Yeah.
like, I just this year went, a friend of mine, it was her birthday. We went, all of us went out, and like
Hmm.
we went to different bars, and it was super fun, and they were super cute, and they were like
Yeah.
cool vibes. And I got mocktails everywhere we went.
Yeah.
And
There's options.
that was great. Like
Yeah.
and it was so fun, and I had a great time, and we all like, and they were like warm and fuzzy and sweet, and
Yeah.
I'm just a little den mama, like,
Yeah.
and it can be beautiful. So
Yeah.
like you can still, I think, giving yourself the permission, like I know sometimes that can feel uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
But just like if there's something that you want to be a part of or you want to participate in, and
Hmm.
you like have this like idea that maybe being sober or like not opting out of the thing
Yeah.
will make it weird or whatever, just recognizing that like it's possible, like you
Hmm.
give yourself permission to like go on that journey and have that fun without needing that thing
Yeah.
to like be part of it, right?
And like being curious about it too. Like, I wonder what this is going to be like without drinking. Like, if you're curious about this and just starting out with like
Yeah.
testing the waters, like just be open to the experience and like just be curious about like how is this night going to go? How am I going to engage with these people? What am I going to get to drink? Like, how am I going to
Yeah.
carry myself? Like, all the different things that go along with that, just being like curious and open to the experience. And then I think too, just in terms of like identity shifts within these circles that you have of like, if you previously were the person who was like going out and you were the life of the party and you're getting like trashed every time, or you're super loud and fun, or maybe the reverse of that, like whatever that looked like for you, if your identity was kind of wrapped up in like, every time I go out with friends, I have a drink or several drinks, and this is who I become, and this is like my role in the social group or within my family or wherever that
Yeah.
is. Um, just recognizing that it can feel really uncomfortable to start having that like shift in identity, and recognizing we go through so many different identity shifts in life. And so this is just like, it's almost like just a natural part of life is to have like an evolution. And in this case, it would just be like an evolution of your choice to not engage in
Yeah.
drinking, and like you show up differently in that
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you said that. And like that, actually, I love the curiosity element of like just be curious about like
Mm-hmm.
finding your new role and like how you're going to be in it, because it can be kind of fun, like
Mm-hmm.
to just like show up with curiosity and be like, how is this going to go? I have no idea,
Mm-hmm.
and like just letting it unfold and still having fun, still engaging. Like you can still do all of those things without needing that other element. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it gets easier, like you said, over time. Like it's not something that will forever feel how it does the first few times you're exploring this. And one thing I think is that's beautiful about the modern world is, with the exception of a few places, almost any establishment you go into that
Mm-hmm.
serves alcohol is going to have a mocktail on the menu, or be willing to modify a drink on the menu to be a mocktail.
Yeah, it's becoming so much more common, which is kind of cool. I love that. I
Me
love the
too.
shift toward like more sobriety.
No,
It
totally.
really is becoming like so much more socially acceptable, I think, to not drink all the time, or to be a person who's like, I'm opting out of it. Like, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And there's like so many options available for that these days.
No,
So,
totally. Like my whole family doesn't drink at all.
uh-huh.
And with the except like my immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all sober,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like we're all sober people. And so um it's really interesting because like holidays or things happen, right? And then other like extended family or, you know, they come into the mix. And sometimes there's those moments where it's it's funny. Sometimes people are like, well, can we have wine? And we're all just like,
Do what you
have
want.
whatever. My dad has been so sober for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
His bar is so full. Like
Mm-hmm.
they have a huge because they're like, well, we have parties, we host people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
Yeah.
we entertain a lot or like whatever. And also so it's one of those things that's like hilarious that continually is like a laughing, like a little
Right.
joke in our family is like for people who literally don't drink at all,
Yeah.
this is insane.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, actually we know. Like actually this is crazy.
Yeah.
And one of the things for my dad in his sobriety is like for him, he actually prefers to have it around because he likes to feel empowered by choosing not to participate,
Mm-hmm.
as to where when he doesn't have it around, like it's like this mental game he plays with himself. I don't even understand it, but
Mm-hmm.
um he just really feels like more empowered by the choice of like, I didn't drink today and I could have and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been like anymore, you know. I know just because of what I know about alcoholism and the journey, like I do know if an alcoholic is choosing to drink that they're in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not like from a choice of like, you know, I just decided today was the day I'm gonna have
Mm-hmm.
a drink. It's from something else.
Yeah.
And that's like specifically when it comes to alcoholism. I'm not speaking for other people who are just like exploring sobriety, etc.
Yeah.
But I do think like there are ways we can replace social, you know, like this came up when I was thinking about like how do I celebrate, like how do I have a birthday party as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
and or like how do I celebrate something as an adult without like this element of
Yeah.
drinking. And it's interesting because our culture, I don't know that it promotes necessarily like a lot of sober celebrations in that way. I think it's just like the top of brain thing is like, oh, we'll go out, we'll have champagne, or we'll
Right.
get drinks, or we'll go dancing and get drinks or whatever, right? But there's so many things we can do instead.
Mm-hmm. So many like fun mocktails, like if it's drink specific, but there's also like so many other fun ways to celebrate as well, where like drinks aren't
The
like the
center,
center of the attention.
100%.
Yeah. And also like outside of celebrations, like if you're someone who's looking to maybe not drink for a period of time or kind of explore that, like figuring out what can I do instead? Like if your system or routine is like every night I come home from work and I make myself a drink and I watch a show and this is how I wind down, and you're wanting to do something different or try something different, you're going to have to replace that with something else. And that could be like going for a walk, connecting with your kids, your spouse, calling a friend, um, baking something,
Doing something with your hands is a
or
big
something.
one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, and that's getting so that's like changing a pattern of any type. And
Yeah.
that's like, I don't care if it's quitting smoking or drinking or
Mhm.
whatever, like whatever that ingrained pattern is, scrolling, we could even apply this to.
Yep.
You've got to find like something else to do with yourself and like
Yeah.
your time. Crafts, like
Yeah.
paint, like color, like 90s kid, love coloring. And sometimes I seriously will just like go color when I don't know what to do with myself. And it's
Mhm.
really relaxing and it's really like it brings you into
Mhm.
presence. Um
It's like finding things that promote like mindfulness, presence,
yeah.
connection with yourself or with other people are
Yeah.
really important to replace alcohol, which truly disconnects you from your inner experience and from others, even though I know it gives the illusion sometimes of connection. So,
Yeah, and I think like one thing to like note too for anybody who maybe is like getting curious about this and like that specific scenario of like, well, every day this is how I unwind,
mhm,
finding because I think sometimes when we are looking to disconnect a bit or like to
mhm,
unwind in that way or like kind of need like I'm not promoting disassociation, but sometimes it's reality,
Right.
right?
You want to kind of like check out.
Check out
But
for a minute,
mhm.
finding something where you can check out, but that isn't like harmful.
Yeah.
And so like, what does that look like? Is it, you know, I mean, hey, it's like that voice note I sent you the other day where I was like, if you, with the right amount of determination, you choose any activity to be disassociative. Like,
So true.
and so
Expert level. For sure.
literally, I've got my PhD in disassociating.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you can, I mean, I could give you a million things to disassociate doing, but like practically, like on a practical level, what would actually feel satisfying to most people,
Mhm.
finding that like guilty pleasure, like TV show or something that like is engaging and entertaining, but it like gives you that brain break where you're
Yes.
like
Yeah.
actually watching and engage a podcast,
Mhm.
you know, even like exercise, that can be like a really, really positive way to kind
Mhm.
of like check out and check in at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who like is listening to this, you're like, oh, I am actually really curious in that way. And I do want to check out.
Mhm.
I need a break. It's like that cigarette or whatever, like that illusion of that thing that's like, I just need like that exhale.
Even if it is like I'm gonna scroll for 30 minutes,
Right.
like I'm just
Whatever
gonna
it
do it.
is.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like finding things that like help you like essentially like resetting your nervous system in some ways or like disconnecting momentarily from
Yes.
something and then coming back to okay, now I'm
Now.
back, I'm grounded, I'm present, I
Yeah.
can move forward.
And like setting a timer on it. I love that. Like,
Yeah.
especially if it is scrolling or like one of those things that can be like a TV show or scrolling where it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I could like spend hours doing this.
Yes. Yeah.
Put a timer on it, but
Yeah.
that still gives your brain like that moment of like, oh, okay, I checked out. And
Yeah.
I think that's really just important, if any, for those moments or that like time, because sometimes it's one of the most powerful things in sobriety for me, not with alcohol. Alcohol was very easy to walk away from.
Mhm.
You guys use your imagination. No, it was really hard for me to quit smoking weed.
Mhm.
Sometimes it still is. Like some days I wake up and I'm like,
Mhm.
I just want to get high. Um,
Mhm.
and that was one of the things that I had to find other things to do with myself that felt positive
Yeah.
and that weren't just like eating or like more destructive dissociative things. And sometimes I did need that break. And then also, when things get hard, like the reality is like when you look at sobriety or you look at making a change, like I have to do this for the rest of my life, that can feel really overwhelming. So instead of like looking at like, this is forever, this is one day at a time. And I think that is like with repatterning anything, not just like extreme
Mhm.
sobriety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just makes it feel so much more attainable instead of being like so daunting and like feeling so
yeah,
impossible.
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah, the last little note on our list here, which I do think is important, is like if you're really trying to stop drinking, it's helpful to shift your environment, like the environment that you're in, whether that be clearing alcohol from your home,
Yeah.
not going out to bars with people, but like whatever that is for you and like your circumstance, sometimes you have to like shift things in the beginning. Like that this is something where you're like, I really want to commit to like seeing how 30 days feels or like
Yeah.
just don't want to drink anymore. Sometimes it's helpful to like shift your environment and like create an environment that's going to set you up for success, whatever that success looks like for you. Otherwise it's really hard to like be so early in any pattern change and to have it right in front of you.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah. So I think that's just important to consider if you're listening and you're like, oh, I have kind of been thinking about, trying that out. I feel, when is it that people usually, is it dry January?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like
when it's
dry
usually?
January and I have my opinions.
For sure.
I have my opinions about it and I'm not going to say them. Maybe I'll save them for I said what I said. But one thing that was coming to mind when you were saying that too, in that like realm of things is like recognizing that in environment shifts and in that like, and we did touch on this, but like just emphasizing like sometimes that does mean that like relationships will shift, or like people in general in your life like might fall away. I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and I mean, I guess I've experienced this too to a degree, is like when you make that change, even if it's just for like, I don't want to drink, like I just don't like how I feel.
Mhm.
Sometimes people just all of a sudden it's like, wait, where'd they go? They were here every day. Or like, you know what I mean? Or
Or you
like,
stop getting invited to things.
yeah, that
Yeah.
that is so real. Oh my God, you stop getting invited to things because like, well, she doesn't drink. And it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Is there not more to me than drinking?
Also, like, grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I think that that's like um kind of part of an environment shift, I think, in a way,
Mhm.
because it's like the company we keep is
Yeah.
creates the environment. And so just like shining a little light on that and like recognizing that that's a huge possibility, and that one, it like opens a door for you to find different connection, different type of connection.
Yeah.
And two, like that says, like you said earlier in this episode, that says so much more about like
Oh, for
those
sure.
people than
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It can be tough to navigate, and sometimes it can be easy to navigate. It kind of just depends on like the social connections that you have,
Yeah.
and like their willingness to like just be flexible and open, and just recognize that like people evolve and change over time, and that's just normal. And
Mm-hmm.
so the people who are actually like willing to stick it out with you, and to like they like you for who you are at your core, not for, you know, all the external things that you do or don't do, like those are the real people that are like worth keeping around. So in some ways it's a good way to weed people out. Like,
Sobriety always is, dude. It's
yeah,
crazy. It really is. Like, and any like big life change, I feel like can do that.
like where you're making a choice to like better yourself, and then people are like, I'm not about it.
yeah, like
It's weird.
even boundaries, like,
Yeah.
and in a way, like choosing to quit drinking is a boundary, right? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I mean, hey, the in the words of my father and probably 1,000 other people, the ones who mind don't matter, and the ones that like matter don't mind. And
Mm-hmm.
that's like truly, I believe, like just true at the core of everything,
Yeah.
because if you're trying to better who you are and like do something that's bettering like you as a person, your health, all of it,
Mm-hmm.
people who love you are going to be like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
do
They'll
that.
cheer you on. Yeah.
Yeah. And people who are like misery loves company people are going to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have words for what they're going to do.
They'll have no problem cutting you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're going to like cop an attitude or like have weird energy toward you. And
Yeah.
that's just like not helpful. So
It's not.
good, adios to them. Bye-bye. We're so good on that. But yeah, so I feel like I hope the trend continues that like sober curiosity is like a thing. Um
Mm-hmm.
Especially like with alcohol, because like we just know so much about alcohol, and like
Mm-hmm.
it is not good for you.
It's not.
And statistically, I mean, a lot of people die from alcohol every year. And I'm not just talking about like drinking. I'm talking about car wrecks. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
like it's not great. So
Yeah. It was really, there were, and it's not always like young, or sorry, old people who are dying from alcoholism. There are clients that I remember having who were in their like late 30s, early 40s, sometimes younger, and then finding out that they passed away not long after, either from relapse, or they were already in like acute liver failure, but they wanted to get sober and like in their life in a good way. And it's like, oh my God, that was like a mom with young kids who like just, you know, coped with alcohol
my
and
mom's cousin died at 34, 33 from
from
alcoholism.
alcoholism. Yeah.
And it was so sad. The last time I saw him, um, it was 9 a.m. and like he was hurting so bad because he hadn't had his like first drink of
Mm-hmm.
alcohol, and he was in so much physical pain, and he was shaking, and
Mm-hmm.
and to
Mm-hmm.
see addiction like that, like,
Mm-hmm.
and so young, like so truly so young, it's heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Devastating.
it's
Yeah.
devastated his family, and like,
Yeah.
like my heart is just with all of them, and it's really sad because you think like, Oh, like I think like our attitude around it is like, yeah, like, oh, the older people are like they did that their whole life. And it's like, no, it
It's not always
actually,
the case.
no, yeah, like it does damage to your body immediately.
Yeah.
And if it's like a rapid, consistent thing,
And everyone's body processes it different. Like it's
totally.
yeah, you just don't know those things. And that's part of it too for me too, is like I'm not interested in that. Like
And
I
like
don't
finding out, yeah.
yeah, I don't want that for myself.
Yeah. And yeah. And like, again, to each their own, but
Yeah.
it doesn't, if it doesn't feel good, like I'm like all about things that feel good and supportive. Like, I
Mhm.
think about the things that I like to do every day, and it's like I like to wake up and I like to work out and I like to be able to like get stuff done and I like to be
Yeah.
productive and I want to be able to like actually be present in my body. And when I would drink, it was like 3 days of just like feeling icky,
Mhm.
not having a ton of motivation. Like the first day afterward, for sure, like rotting on the couch.
Mhm.
And I just am not like willing to give up that much time of my
Yeah.
life, because I'm already like, fuck. Hey, we're 30 years down. We gotta get busy, babe. Like
The productivity.
it's
Don't drink.
no, exactly. Oh, hi, Burke.
Well, I feel like that's a good place to
He
end.
always
He
decides, doesn't he?
does. And he just knows. He's like, I think it's time.
He's
I
like,
think
okay, wrap it up.
well, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. That's super helpful. Share if you listen to this and share it with someone who might like
Yeah.
it. All of that is really
It's true.
appreciated. Holy smokes. If you're watching, you can see.
I'm getting kissed and that tail is a wagging.
Yeah.
Take me on a
Burke's
date
little
first.
booty.
My gosh.
Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.